ahead. More on that in a little bit. We're going to talk about this market hitting a wall this week. We have energy earnings. We have some FAANG earnings, Facebook, Amazon, Apple, Netflix, Google, kind of what we call the FAANGs, Tesla, and as well as energy. So it's going to be a very, very interesting week. And this headline here more or less says it all. And the rally hits the wall. We predicted this last week, folks. A couple weeks ago, I said, hey, we're going to bounce off of this 200-day moving average on the S&P 500. We did what I called a blue-collar climb, kind of like if you ever watch The Price is Right. Remember being homesick when I was growing up watching The Price is Right. And the yodeler, remember that, like mountain climber, the guy would, that's exactly what this is right here. Up to the 50-day moving average, and as soon as we went through it, last week, I said, you know what, folks, market's out of airspeed, out of ideas, and it's going to pull back, and we started to get long volatility. Before we get into our strategic and operational brief and then get tactical, I want to let you know what's starting tonight at 7 o'clock. Many of you who have tried to become members here either haven't acted fast enough or just we ran out of slots. We do options weapon school a couple times a year, only when we have the availability, obviously, when we have the space. And this is for people who are brand new to options or kind of know a little bit about options but really want to take their trading to the next level. Tonight at 7 o'clock, I'm going to do a welcome aboard brief. Tomorrow afternoon, you're going to get access to the primary live trade brief. We're going to talk about some front month trades. Our market portfolio saw over $12,000 in gains last week alone. We're having a blast trading this market, so I'm going to show you some of that. Tuesday night, I'm going to teach you how to hedge, how to protect your portfolio for potential downfalls, because as we just covered, folks, we had a blast trading this madness since the volatility implosion in January. We've had a blast trading this. If you haven't had fun, you're doing it wrong. So we're going to do that Tuesday night, and then Wednesday, we're going to close up with a weekly options live trade brief at 1 o'clock. So everything is on this page right here. What I need you to do is head to go.topgunoptions.com/join OWS. That means join Options Weapon School. It's free. What we do is a couple times a year is we open up the doors to our squadron, let you in to see normal operations, so to speak. So you're going to be in there with our current members and see what they see, get actionable trades, and get to see a professional trader in action. It's like you're sneaking onto the floor of one of the exchanges and getting the eavesdrop on what a professional is doing and where we're deploying our firepower. Okay, let's get strategic real quick. This is going to be a binary meeting, folks, coming up between President Trump and Kim Jong-un. Okay, he's already said, hey man, if it's a bad meeting or it ain't going our way, I'm getting up and respectfully walking out. Usually a real estate developer from New York doesn't say I'm going to respectfully walk out, so he is using some code there. So it's going to be interesting, folks. You would think, and I predict that we're going to have a major announcement between North and South Korea this week. As you guys know, as an ex-military guy, I still have a lot of buddies in a pretty big building up north that many of you know about, and I'm pretty well in the loop with what's going on, especially when they go quiet. They give me a little bit of a heads up, and then I don't hear from them. Something usually happens, as I've predicted before. So it's interesting to see the liberal media, how this guy is going to be presiding over the end of the Korean War. Because technically we're still at war, folks, right? We've never signed a ceasefire agreement. That's why we have troops sitting there on the DMZ facing North Korean troops with weapons. And everybody remember that that guy Barack Hussein Obama, who the Nobel, he got the Nobel Prize within, what, a couple months of being elected? They gave him a prize for what they thought he'd do. There's liberals for you, folks. We're going to give you a trophy for stuff you haven't even done yet. That's what's wrong with this world and this country. Anyway, I rant too long here. My point being, this is going to be a 1 or 0 meeting. If he gets up and walks out, you can kiss this market goodbye. Because as Trump said, if I have to leave this meeting, game back on. Here's another strategic issue we're going to talk about this week. This hasn't gone away. So Eric Peters, he's the CIO for One River. Big investment house. He says, hey, China's best play is to let the U.S. stock market crash. He agrees with Trump. The Chinese can't win a trade war, but they can destroy us and destroy our stock market. They can stop buying treasuries. They can do a lot of things to kick us in the gut. And if you remember over the past couple months, and of course the one vacation I try and take in a couple of years to Aspen and enjoy, renewed fears of a trade war caused this market to implosion. and the fact that Mark Zuckerberg is just an awful person and Facebook sucks. But I digress. So there was a couple huge pullbacks over the past couple months over what? These China trade war fears and what's going on now. Well, behind the scenes, as I predicted, the adults are talking. President Trump brought in Larry Kudlow. He was, market analyst from CNBC, and he worked in Reagan and Bush administrations. Good dude. Steve Mnuchin. My sister was partners with Steve Mnuchin at Dune Capital. So the adults are talking behind the scenes. So the market. I'm going to teach you a couple wizisms this week. The market only cares when it cares. So back here, it really cared. And it's really going to care again if we don't get a trade deal worked out with China. So we're going to talk about this week as well. Investors' new headache. It's getting harder to buy or sell when they want. It's called a liquidity issue, folks. Not only that, it's a scary time to be trading Wall Street's fear index. What is Wall Street's fear index? Do you know what that is? It's called the VIX, the Volatility Market Index, right? It's made by the SIBO. It's a product from the Chicago Board Options Exchange. Used to work right there. And last week, see, this was, I call it our resting heart rate. Before the short volatility trade wiped out a bunch of stupid people at the beginning of the year, volatility kind of came back in and found a new resting heart rate. We had some freakouts every once in a while, trade wars or Putin saying he's going to kill us all with some cool new weapons. But we kind of found what I call a new resting heart rate here in the upper teens, a 19 or 20. The VIX, the volatility index, came out in 1993. You know what the average VIX has been since 1993? A 20. So this ridiculous stupidity in the past year of being down at 9 and 10, every once in a while a freak out. Look at this. Look at the last year. Being short volatility was a smart trade, meaning I don't think volatility is going to go up. How did that work out? Right here, there was $8 billion in short volatility trades out there. I personally know a ton of people whose funds either got wiped out or they got wiped out. And life's tough. It's even tougher if you're stupid. So when we got below this, quote, new resting heart rate last week, what did I say? It's time to get long volatility. We put on a trade out to May 4th where I said between now and May 4th, something is going to happen to freak the market the hell out. And I'm briefing you on what some of those things are. Oil. Heading up to 70. I mean, here comes Trump with his tweets. He already started blasting OPEC for high oil prices. Now, remember, folks, high oil prices don't necessarily translate into high gas prices. They are two completely different things. One's a derivative of the other, obviously, but it has nothing to do direct correlation. I'm going to teach you about that this week as well. But this market, folks, this blue-collar rally, if we didn't get off the mat last week with absolutely record JP Morgan, Morgan Stanley, and Goldman Sachs earnings. I've been doing this for a quarter of a century. I'm kind of dating myself, but if we didn't rally on those bank earnings, which I have never seen before, well, of course I've never seen it before. How old is JP Morgan? 100 years old or however old JP Morgan is? They've never in the history of JP Morgan reported such good earnings. And what did the market do after this trudging climb here? It shrugged and went, what have you done for me lately? So if tech earnings and energy earnings underwhelm, we are in a lot of trouble. Not we, I'm talking about the market and stupid people, not us. We're going to absolutely print money. We're going to get long volatility. We're going to short stocks that and ETFs that need to be shorted, and we're going to have a blast. For example, Facebook. Facebook is imploding. Last week, we closed a bear call spread, a one-week trade for about a $2,100 gain. The 167.5, 170 bear call spread. We had an iron condor on win. And if you don't know what any of these terms are, folks, don't worry about it. I'm going to help you out with that. We actually had an iron condor. We've been trading the hell out of win here. Folks, I'm going to show you all this stuff. I'm not going to keep rambling here because I got to actually get to work and get trading. But we have a lot of work to do this week. It's going to be a blast. Even if you don't know how to spell the word options, like some of my Marine buddies, or you think you're a Jedi Master, this is the program for you, Options Weapons School. All of it's free this week. the in brief kicking off tonight at 8 o'clock through us closing the doors on Wednesday. If you can't make it, still register, folks, because I'll give you access to the replays. I'm going to send out an email, just like I do to my regular members, after the live trade brief, so you can watch it at your leisure. That's what we do here. And if you actually want to get a text alert when I send out a text in one of these live trade briefs, give us your cell number. We don't spam it, we blah, blah, all that good stuff, obviously. And just for registering, folks, I'm going to give you, what's that, 90, 100, $90 bucks worth of value here. You're going to get access to our Options Pocket checklist and a copy of our trade plan. Okay, read this one, the trade plan, before tonight's brief. That's your homework. Download and read this trade plan before tonight. It's definitely going to help you out. Okay, I got to run. We got a lot of good stuff going on this week here at Top Gun Options, so go grab your slot at this website, go.topgunoptions.com/join-OWS. And that obviously stands for Join Options Weapon School, okay? Ain't that hard, folks. This ain't rocket surgery. I'm a political science major and a knuckle-dragging F-18 pilot. If I can do it, you can do it. We have stay-at-home moms. We have retired folks. We have folks who work full-time jobs. We have every type of person that you can think of here at TGO, and I'm teaching them how to trade equity options profitably, okay, and also how to protect themselves against potential loss, okay? Trading's a form of combat, folks. Somebody's going to win and somebody's going to lose, and here at Top Gun Options, you can be damn sure I'm going to put you on the right side of that trade. So have a great rest of your day. I'll see you tonight at 7 p.m. for my weekly options members. I'm actually going to be hosting timing research today at 1 o'clock. So I'm going to send out a weekly options trade, a normal weekly options trade here in a little bit when I see a good one. But otherwise, we're not having our weekly options brief today at 1. We're going to be at timing research where I'm hosting a trader roundtable. We're actually going to do our weekly options brief on Wednesday at 1 o'clock. Okay. And if you're in accelerated retirement, you know who I'm talking to. That's usually Wednesday at 1 o'clock. We're going to do that on Friday. So we sent out an email last night to our members with kind of the flight schedule changes. So make sure you are briefed accordingly. All right, folks, have a great rest of your day. I'll see you at 7 o'clock tonight. Fights on.